Good morning, boys and ghouls. What up? What up? What up? My name is Luis, and some of you may know me because of my illustration work under the name Luisifer, and some of you may know me because of my band Teething, but most of you know me because of my beautiful, brown, funny dog, medium-sized dog, Bingo. Today's guest is my friend Jan, the drummer of Teethgrinder. Teethgrinder is a grindcore band based out of the Netherlands. My band Teething and his band Teethgrinder are mates. We're very close. So close that we'll be putting out a split. Hopefully it'll be a 12-inch or 10-inch. But we haven't gotten into that. But it's probably going to be a 7-inch. We'll see. So we get into all of that. We get into meeting each other for the first time. We get into the relationship those guys have. How COVID's been treating them. We get into our list of goals. We get into possible nightliner tours getting canceled. We get into Japan because those guys played Japan a couple years ago. We get into all kinds of fun stories. Here is Jonathan from Teethgrinder. Nope, I'm just kidding. It's not Jonathan. It's Jan. Because Jan makes fun of me a bit because Jan was the leftovers. I try to get Jonathan on. More on that upcoming. Enjoy. Doot 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 doot. Boop boop. You know what I was doing right now?
Jerking off? I don't know.
No. I was watching Papa Roach live covering Song 2 by Blur.
Oh my fucking god.
Dude.
Yeah, I know your shitty taste of music, so.
Exactly. You know me very well. I see you have shitty taste in music too. I see your shirt. What shirt are you wearing?
Finally, I got it.
You got the Teething, old school Teething, Blackened is the End.
Shirt. Yeah, finally, man. I've been searching it for 2 years.
I think even longer.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Was it on the first suit that I asked you guys for it?
I think so, yeah. And I don't know. I think there wasn't. What was the issue? There wasn't a size available for you or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. The size wasn't correct, and David was so nice to attend me to Bones Brigade, who were selling some of these shirts. So I was like, hell yeah, finally.
Nice, dude. I'm so happy you're able to get your hand on it. So, yeah. Jan, dude, what the fuck is up?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah.
So
a lot.
A lot? Why don't you? You want to get into it, or wait before we get into like our chat? Okay. So do you know what I'm doing right now? Like, I started a podcast, okay, to kill time during COVID. You know, talk to friends, mostly musicians, and just shooting the shit because I don't know. It's a way of it's like a good excuse to stay in touch, you know. Because if I'm like, hey Jan, let me call you for like 2 hours. I mean, it might be not that it's gonna be weird, but it might be. I think we're gonna make ourselves more available for something like this.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I can agree on that, and of course, I'm second call because first you wanted to talk to Jonathan, right?
Exactly. You're the.
Why always the fucking singer?
You're the leftovers.
Yeah, I'm the leftover. You talk to everybody and ask me last, right?
Yeah, I even asked Jupe before I asked you.
You bitch.
So, oh yeah, so for everyone who's listening, I tried scheduling Jonathan, of course, the lead singer, the
lead singer, the main character in the band. Ooh.
The beautiful face behind Teethgrinder.
Yeah. Nobody recognizes the drummer.
Exactly. But you know what he did? Like, I tried schedule with him several times, and once I was like waiting for an hour and a half, and then he logged on and he was like, well, he didn't even log on. He he sent me like a message. He's like, dude, sorry, I fell asleep.
You're a typical singer, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I'm not. I'd like to think I'm more responsible than that. But anyways, hopefully at some point I'll get Jonathan. And then we can delete this conversation.
Yeah, probably. I already spoke about it with him, of course. So that's why I knew. But yeah, I think don't let him hear this. But I think you're a little bit more responsible. But he's getting there. He's getting there.
Okay. Yeah. He's I hear he's pretty booked with work and stuff. So enough about Jonathan. Let's talk about yourself. Let's talk about you, the drummer, the man behind the kit. Dude, so okay, I like to start off all of these interviews with the same question, which is pretty convenient for now, because I know you're just having dinner. Do you prefer salty food or sweet food?
Jesus Christ. Salty food.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And
I like to combine it actually, but
dude, everyone says the same thing. They like sweet and salty. So like Asian is a perfect example.
Yeah, or Surinamic food. I'm a big fan of roti. Roti.
Nice. Yeah. I'm not sure. The roots are from India, right?
I think it's a mix. It's Hindustani, Creole. It's a combination of a lot of different cultures. That's why, of course, it's coming from Suriname, because that's one blend of people.
Okay. Would you? Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's one of my favorite, especially the vegetarian one, because that's it's a combination of salt and sweet. So I don't want to get into the typical recipe.
Have you ever cooked this dish?
No, impossible.
Yeah, I think it's one of those dishes that would intimidate me. Like I think it's too much to handle. I'm not even. It's so important, just the texture and everything, you know.
But so you have a lot of questions prepared for me, and this is the first one. Ease into it.
Dude, exactly. Because everyone likes hearing about food. I love food conversations. Food tells me a lot about people. The same way Jonathan being late to the interview for an hour and a half tells me a lot about how it must be being in a band with him.
Okay.
And, you're fine.
What can you say about his food taste then?
I don't know what his food taste is like. I know he likes to smoke a lot, so I think that gives me a lot of insight on what food he enjoys.
Okay. And what does it say about me that I like salt and sweet? And
no, I think no, but
favorite food.
I think that you chose roti says, let me think. You're a man of simple pleasures.
Simple pleasures?
It's a very basic but delicate simple food, don't you think? It's not elaborate.
No, true. That's true. But still, yeah, I think it's quite special. Like I said, it's impossible to make. So
can you explain to those people that don't know what roti is? Can you explain what it is?
Maybe it's better to. Can you show a picture?
No, but the thing about this podcast, the audio is gonna be a more important factor. Like I'm gonna upload this audio to Spotify and iTunes, but the video you'll be able to see on YouTube. So it's mostly for people that are like on long walks and want to listen to us beautiful men talk to each
other. It's a roti plate. It's and with beans, green beans and potatoes, and it's with the I don't know even the English name for it. For 1 second.
Sure. You know what? I got confused. I had in mind roti canai, which is like a Malaysian / Indian dish that's bread. It's simply bread. So I got
it's not bread. It's uh, it depends, of course, on what kind of. If you choose for the vegetarian one, it's with I choose always with pumpkin, eggplant, and potatoes, and what is the last ingredient? Even in Dutch, I always forget how's it called. Um, fuck. Um,
I think we get the idea anyway. So it's like
yeah,
rice,
yeah.
potatoes, veggies. It's what I like to call soul food. Like it's something like I feel like a mom or a grandmother would prepare. You know.
Yeah, and like I said, it's on a pancake, and you eat it with your hands, and yeah, it's typical for Suriname, and it's really enjoyable. It's the best there is.
And where's the best? What's your favorite restaurant to in the world where you enjoy this fine cuisine?
At your grandmother's house.
Yes. Okay, dude.
So to be honest, yeah, we have one restaurant nearby, and it's in Amsterdam. It's one of the most famous one in Amsterdam, and they won several prizes for it. It's Rams Roti, and yeah, they have the best one in town for sure.
It's called Rams Roti.
Yeah.
How often do you go to Rams Roti?
It depends, but sometimes 2 times a week.
Fuck yeah, dude. So I'm guessing it's reasonably priced.
Yeah, it's reasonably priced, but yeah, if I don't order that much food actually, but if I do, it should be roti, and I try to eat as healthy as possible. So I don't think it's the most healthy food there is. So
okay, but it does.
I like to enjoy it.
See, here's where I'm getting at. Like, this does say a bit about your personality because it's like basic stuff. It's not processed food, you know. I know you like doing like yoga, and you try to keep calm. So I think it goes in sync with your personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe.
Okay, enough about food. Okay, shut the fuck up about food.
Hey man, you're
Dude,
interviewing.
Tell me how's your life, dude? How's COVID? How have these last 7 months been?
Yeah,
On
I
a
don't know.
personal level and work wise and band wise, or maybe we can get into band wise later.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know even where to start, man. Has happened so much the last few months. Of course, I'm a teacher, so halfway the last year, yeah, we got the lockdown, so we couldn't teach anymore real time. So yeah, that was because of that, I really noticed why I love teaching, and that's make a connection with young children and try to inspire them and try to learn them without being too arrogant, like I'm the teacher and I have to tell them everything. But so teaching behind the screen was it was terrible because first of all, if you have 30 children in a classroom, a digital classroom, and in the beginning they of course have their camera on, and later on they it's all black screens, so you're teaching to black screens, and I did do my best to get it interactive as possible, but it was really hard, and it wasn't inspiring to me. It cost a lot of energy, and of course, on top of that, normally I have a really really busy life because being a teacher, I have a ton of jobs at our school. Being in a band who's playing quite often, of course, having a relationship or not. It was. We had to record a new album. So a busy year, but yeah, the inspiring part of it was gone, especially because, yeah, especially now I can notice that, yeah, teaching isn't as fun if you're playing shows in the weekend, and playing shows or rehearsing isn't as fun if you're not in a classroom,
Ah, the yin
or
and the
vice
yang.
versa. So it's of course, I'm I'm still healthy. My family is still healthy, so that's the uh, of the most important thing, of course. But yeah, the inspiring part is cut down.
Okay,
And
so
what about you? You, because you had COVID, so
yes, exactly. So thanks for asking. But so I want to, getting back to what you were saying,
yeah,
I want to know. So you'd say teaching and both being in a band, Teethgrinder, feels less inspiring during these times?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's yeah, for sure. Um, Even though I'm going to the rehearsal room every week, it still feels like, yeah, you're not rehearsing for a show, or you're not rehearsing for a tour, or you're not rehearsing for,
Right.
yeah, an album, because we recorded it. But
Are
yeah, yeah.
sorry, go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
Um, so and when I'm at work, all my colleagues are saying, "Oh man, your life is way too busy. How can you handle it?" But I'm always like, yeah, I really need it. I need that diversity. I really need it to get inspired by different worlds.
I can
So
totally
by
relate to what you're saying, of course. I think most of us can. We all have similar lifestyles. We're all very busy from 9 to 6 with our jobs, more or less, and then from 6 to 12, possibly with our band and whatever other hobby and our significant other. And we try to cram it all in, and
and,
we do our best, you know.
and the thing I forgot, last year I've started a new study as well. So I've been doing that on the side as well.
Oh, okay.
One
So
day a week.
is this a master's or something like that?
Yeah, it's a master of pedagogy.
Okay, nice. And that's once a
Yeah,
week?
one day a week, but it's to get my points, I have to work for it 24 hours a week. That's what they say, but
Wow.
it's a little bit more.
Wow. Busy dude, busy dude. So going
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to, yes, I had COVID. I was diagnosed positive with COVID last month, and I was lucky because I didn't have any symptoms, and I just needed to be on total lockdown here with Sadan, with Bingo, for like 15 days, which was fine, you know, because I have a lot of movies here. I can't complain, you know, and a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to do, you know, whether it's work or teething stuff or illustration stuff. And so I didn't mind the lockdown as much, you know. I
But
am
you didn't feel any symptoms, you
no
said?
symptoms at all. No
But
symptoms
why did you test then?
because a friend. Oh my God, Bingo's playing with a toy, dude. Bingo,
I can hear it.
shut the
Hey,
fuck up.
bingo.
He's downstairs playing alone with a toy. Anyways, um, so how did I realize? Bingo. Sorry, Sada's gonna go handle that. Anyway, so I realized I had COVID because a friend came. I hung out with a friend at and his girlfriend and Sada, my girlfriend, and we went to the pool together. And then he got tested. He got tested for some reason, and he got positive. But I
Okay.
don't think. But later it was a false positive, so it was very weird. I'm not sure where it came from. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it could have came from something stupid, whether it's like going to the supermarket or getting the mail. You know, I don't know. I have no idea.
How is it to be in Spain at the moment? How is the mentality of the people versus the state?
Uh huh. Well, That's a good question, because I think so much the government and people in general, I'm generalizing, are very they're scared. They don't know how to handle the situation. They've never dealt with something like this. They're being very irresponsible. So I just try to worry about myself and my loved ones and make sure we're fine, and then I see fucking ridiculous stuff on the news and people on the street. Yeah.
And your family? How
My
is your
family is
family?
my family is good. We're good. I'm the one that's been affected the most, and I have a very close relationship with my dad, so it kind of sucked not seeing him for a couple of months. I like to see him once or twice a week because we're like
Yeah.
best friends, and it's nice that I'm able to see him more often now. So family's
But
good.
actually, but of course, I'm interested in their health, but especially in their mental health, and
Mhm.
how are their um, how they how they are living with COVID and all the measurements and all the
Right.
rules and all.
For the most part, my whole family is pretty especially the older ones. I mean, we're all pretty responsible, no one's like doing anything ridiculous or stupid they shouldn't be doing. There have been, like, my dad's like getting a bit older, so sometimes I need to remind him, like, don't touch that, don't do that, but it's fine for the most part. What about
Yeah.
your family, the older ones?
Yeah, my dad is quite old already. He's 75, 74.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think a good example is, especially they live in the northern part of Holland, and yeah, there wasn't any COVID until a few weeks ago, 2 months ago, I guess. And a good example is that I came back from a study trip, and that was the weekend before the lockdown. And I was at my parents' place, and I was going back to Amsterdam, and then the lockdown happened. And after that, my dad or my mother was celebrating his birthday, I guess. And I was calling him like, yeah, I don't feel really good about going up north, and I'm living in Amsterdam, so yeah, COVID was yeah, the numbers were going up and up and up, and I was like, yeah, I don't think it's really a good idea to go up north. And my parents were like, yeah, hey, we want to see you, and if it comes, if COVID is taking us, then that's something we'll have to deal with. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
but and
What do
that
you mean?
was in the
Sorry. What do you
beginning.
mean if COVID is taking us? You mean if they get sick?
Yeah, if they get sick, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Things come as they come.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's how they are treating it. And yeah, of course, it changed a little bit. Of course, we're 7 months further now, and yeah, my nephews were they were celebrating their birthday, and I couldn't go because I was like, yeah, I don't want to. I work at a school with 1,100 children, and we already had 25 positive COVID uh, counts or whatever. And so I was like, yeah, I'm taking a risk every day when I'm working there, and we all wear mouthpieces right now. But yeah, I'm sitting in a classroom with 30 children and 6 classes a day. So yeah, the chances are quite high that I'm getting it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm glad um you seem to be very responsible about it, especially when it comes to loved ones. Like, hey, I think it's smarter if we don't see each other. That's, yeah. Sometimes
exactly,
those are the decisions we have to make.
yeah,
But Jan, enough COVID talk. Let's go back in time, okay? Let's go back
back
in
in
time.
time.
Let's go back in time. Long time ago. I want to know how you first discovered punk and hardcore. Do you remember?
Yeah, Yeah. Of course, I have an older brother, and he's 4 years older. And I think I was about 6, 7, maybe, that I first listened to Metallica, and yeah, I think it actually started out with, of course, the Police, Genesis, Sting. Um, we had some Dutch rock and roll bands that I grew up listening to, and of course, yeah, Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses. I can remember that I was 6 or 7 years old, and we only had at the time we only had three television stations, one, two,
Wow.
and three, and I know I can remember that they were um, showing Tokyo Showdown. I
Mhm.
think Tokyo '92 or whatever. They were putting it on television, and that was quite special because yeah, we only had three channels, and it was at I think 1:30, so really late for a young guy like me. So I was sitting in a chair, and I had some wet towels to keep me awake. So yeah, I think I was 6 or 7 years old, and I was really into Guns N' Roses, and of course then Queen, Metallica, Nirvana a little bit, but that was a little bit too cheesy and too soft for me at that time. And yeah, that when I went to high school, yeah, I already played in a hardcore band. So when I was 10 or 11 years old, I did my first hardcore band, first
Wow.
hardcore show as well.
No way,
I,
dude.
recently I found some pictures of one of those shows, so that's really cool. And yeah, yeah, we were playing 6 or 7 um, songs of our own, and we played some Madball covers, some Sick of It All covers. So yeah, it was 10 or 11 by the time. So that's how I
When you
grew
were
into it.
10 or 11, you were what Madball and Sick of It All songs were you playing?
We were playing Lockdown from Madball, of course. Scratch the Surface from Sick of It All. Um, Demonstrating My Style, Set It Off.
That's so
Uh,
fucking sick, dude.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it's because of my
That
brother. And
that's what I want to get at because I know like most people have like it depends on what year you were born. There's like a natural progression. Like yeah, you start with the classics and then someone shows you or Metallica or Slayer and then you discover something more extreme. I want to know when you found yeah the Madballs, the Sick of It All, like the punk and the hardcore side.
yeah, I don't. It's really hard because we had a rehearsal space when we were young, and a lot of bands came over to rehearse there, and they played from metalcore to hardcore, and I really don't know. It's hard for me to remember which band really made the crossover for me, but I think it's because of those hardcore bands um, from yeah, from the area actually.
Okay.
So I my brother started playing in a band, but yeah, still
See, for me, there
then
was
they,
like, for me, like, I always loved music, but when I discovered like hardcore and went to a hardcore show was when like I immediately felt a connection. Because going to metal shows, which I was first a metalhead, it was more,
yeah,
there was more of a separation, the bigger shows, like it seemed unreachable, you know? As
yeah,
a hardcore show, it just seemed like kids like us and it was all possible, you know, no barrier, no security. So for me that was
yeah,
like a
that's
big
true.
eye opener.
uh, I think yeah, I think there were quite a lot of Dutch hardcore bands like Right Direction, Backfire, $400 Suits. some of the Belgian bands, the H2000, the H8000 bands like Length of Time, Archangel, Congress, Liar. Um, but yeah,
Very
I
cool.
really don't know actually what the first one was. The
Okay.
first real hardcore band, but those bands, yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I played shows with them when I was a young kid, so I will think about it.
Okay. Very no, but this is good enough. I excellent answer, man. And
Yeah.
is your brother still into this kind of music?
He's not really digging in that deep, but of course he still has his record collection, and he's not discovering any new stuff. And yeah, he's coming by when we play a show with Teethgrinder, and he's bringing his sons, so that's really cool.
That's
My
very cool.
nephews, they were really scared when they saw us the first time. So
I always say like us, both you and me, people that have grown with an older brother are really lucky because we got into music really early.
exactly.
I have a brother who's maybe 5 or 6 years older than me. So he showed me all the classics, you know, like yeah, like Metallica, Soundgarden, Corrosion of Conformity. And then new metal came and I was like, back my shit off, dude. I'm getting an eyebrow ring.
Yes. And what did your brother say about that? He
Oh
was
well, he
kicking
was
the hell out of you.
no, because when we discovered new metal at the same time, and like when we discovered new metal, it was a new thing, you know. It's like the first Korn album. It wasn't like, oh, this is new metal. It was like it was fresh and different, you know, or like
Yeah.
or early Deftones. And then later on the media turned it into this whole like new metal thing, and then all these like recycled copycat bands came out. But when it came out, it was like, oh shit. So he was
Yeah,
into
but
the early stuff.
I can recall that I was in high school, and there was a friend of mine who was really into Korn, and yeah, we played some songs of them, and I only liked the first song of Korn I listened to, and then it was a little bit too, yeah, it's too, and for the same, yeah, to be honest, great bands. They wrote some cool songs. The Deftones, Slipknot,
Mhm.
Korn. They have some. I have some albums of theirs, and they have some cool songs. But when it came out, the only reason I listened to it was that it was on television. Like Slipknot, there was one song, "Wait and Bleed," that came on television. So there was finally a metal song on television. But
Yeah.
yeah, I already listened to way more hardcore stuff, and especially if you're into hardcore,
Right.
hardcore punk, then those bands are even shittier, in
I
my opinion. Then it's like new metal, ugh.
I totally
and
get
and
it.
now
Yeah.
and now when I think I don't know for how long that is, but yeah, of course, Slipknot. Yeah, it's a great band. It's not really my style, and but they have some great songs. They can play their instruments quite well, and they have if it comes to being a band, they have a great concept, and they they became one of the biggest metal bands as well. So they're doing something good.
I totally get it. I mean, I think this is because I think there's a small age difference between you and me. I'm from 1985. What about you?
83.
Okay, so I think there's that small gap where like no,
Two
but
years.
if I would have discovered like strife and catharsis and integrity before like wait and bleed, I probably would have that same mentality. But that came after.
I exactly. I had a tape with integrity and strive, and with
Exactly.
earth mover and upheaval and integrity, all that shit. I had that before,
Of course.
way before Wait and
So
Bleed.
you already had the real deal. You didn't need to dabble into like MTV metal, you know.
Exactly. We
So
already had Headbangers Ball.
exactly, exactly. So dude, do you recall meeting each other? I mean Teethgrinder and Teething? Like how the
Um,
first time you heard, how the first time we met or heard about each other?
yeah, the first time I guess I heard about you guys was like, oh, Teethgrinder. Oh, it's in the name. And then um, I think the short run to Obscene Extreme that was the first run we actually ever did, I guess, because we just released our EP. We only had 4 songs released, and then we were heading for Obscene Extreme with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a blast. it was the best ever. It was um,
You
of
haven't.
course you yeah
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know where to start, man. We met a lot of bands, of course, and a lot of cool people, but I think there are only 2 bands that really stick, and people that I'm meeting outside of the music world, and that's Teething and that's Inhumate. And I was just speaking to Damian from Inhumate, and we're going to see him around Christmas every year for 3 years now. So this summer we've been to him, and for you guys, last time we met was in Malaga, and we did 2 shows or three,
Three
two,
shows.
3 shows.
There was
And,
Madrid, Malaga, and Almeria.
oh yeah, but they were not in in a row.
Right.
Madrid was early; it was on Wednesday, but especially Malaga, that was the best ever, man. I think, one of the best weekends of my life, just hanging around at David's place and being treated so good. The food was delicious. Hanging out around with friends, and
Yeah,
it
Alvaro,
was
because to all of those listening, we did something very cool, which I think was cooler. Which was cooler than actually playing the shows, which was we took an early drive to Malaga, so we could go to a friend's house, and he made paella, which is a typical Spanish rice for everyone. And this guy is a cook. That's what he does for a living. And he has a beautiful fucking house. He has a great wife,
has
a
a
great
pool,
kid. He has like
swimming
11
pool.
dogs, a swimming pool. So it was, I think that was the highlight, just hanging out there. And Alvaro said something really nice, which was the importance of food is just like gathering everyone together, you know? So it was for sure. I have some great, because I had my video camera on me. I have some great footage from that day. I'll make sure I send that to you too.
Yeah, I want to see it, man. I want to see it.
But
David
exactly. But I'm gonna interrupt because the first time we ever met was at the Incubate Festival.
But I don't think I met you guys.
Well, we met. We definitely met
March.
Yes.
Probably.
Because the story was, Mart had emailed us maybe a year prior to that. That must have been 2013 or 2014 or something like that. And he just emailed us. He was like, "Hey guys, you guys are called Teething. I'm in a band called Teethgrinder." and then I was like, "Cool, dude." So that's
awesome for you.
Yeah, whoa. So I think we just hit each other back and forth, and then somehow we ended up on the same bill at Incubate Festival the same day. So we just made it a point to watch each other's shows, and so that's when
What? Can you remember which venue you played?
we played the same venue as you guys, and you guys played we played a bit later than you guys. I think you guys played like, I don't know, before lunchtime, like before lunchtime, and we played after lunchtime, and we were on tour with Corrupt Moral Alter at the time, and I remember
we did a weekend show with those. We did a weekend show with those guys.
Yeah, so I remember going to the merch, seeing all of the Teethgrinder merch, and I was like, "Hey, you guys must have had someone doing your merch. I don't recall who it was now." And I was like, "I'm looking for Mart." So Mart, he sent me to Mart, and I think that's the only guy I talked to. But Teething was very, very impressed by your guys' set. We were like, holy shit, dude. Like, I must say, like, Teething, we're very, like, full of ourselves. Like, we're not really, like, when
That's because you listen to new metal.
Exactly. Like, we're not intimidated much, not because we think we're better, but just because, like, we know we're loud, we know we're violent, like, whatever. But when we have to play with you guys, we're like, oh fuck, here we go again. You know, like, shit, man. We have to. We like it, you know. It's like a flame under our ass. Like, we like playing with bands like you. We like playing with Teethgrinder because we have to step up our game, you know. And to this day, we always have that inside joke. Even yesterday, I was rehearsing with the guys, and I was like, "Oh, tomorrow I'm gonna be talking to Jen," and Alvaro made a joke about how you guys like are fucking kick our fucking asses. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we tell you guys this all the time.
Yeah, you do, and I don't believe you guys, and it's not true.
Okay.
It's not
true.
Yeah,
it's the typical yes, no, you're so pretty. We should just make out right now, you know.
Yeah, but of course you can. This is the story as it always is. Like, yeah, you guys are different. You have a more hardcore punky style, and we have a little bit more of death metal influence.
For sure.
Grindcore.
I think that's where it intimidates. You guys have your sound is so on point. Just like, I'm not, of course you guys are tight sounding, but like, you guys always have such a pristine sound engineer with you guys, and you guys know exactly, like, Mart has his shit on point. You all have your sound so, in Spanish it's pulido. It's so, you guys really know what you're going for, and
especially the first time in Madrid, right?
Dude, that's the thing. You guys were playing with shitty equipment, but you made it sound like fucking Converge, you know? It was like, oh my god. Anyways.
It was a terrible experience. I never played on such a small kit, and I like it small, but this was really small.
But believe me, like, it sounded fucking amazing, dude. And
thank you very much.
Of course. So this is a perfect segue, because now I just want to talk about Teethgrinder territory. Okay, so even though, like, we've hung out a lot, like, we've toured together, we've played so many shows, I'm not sure about the roots, like, how it all came together. Who put the band together? Or tell me a bit about this.
Yeah, it's actually Mart and I. We started the band, and I think it all started with me doing audition for a big German band, and that was we just quit with Greyline, my other band with Jabe, and so I did audition for a big German band, and I had to practice for that shit a lot, and I had to play blast beats again, and I didn't play them for many years, so I had to. Yeah, I've been busting my balls off to. Get it to make it to the audition, and
sorry, interruption. Can you reveal what band that was?
Yes, it was Atrocity.
Oh, okay.
Atrocity, and but actually it was a double duty thing, because they wanted a drummer for Atrocity and Leaves Eyes, and I first recorded the songs for Leaves Eyes, and I nailed them. To be honest, I think I did a good job, and it sounded good. And then, I had to practice a lot to get those chops in my fingers again and play fast double bass for a lot of measurements. And in the end, when I recorded that Atrocity song, I sent it out to them, and I didn't hear jack shit anymore. So probably they thought it was shit, but I don't mind, because a friend of mine got the job, and the weird thing was he already got the job before I sent it out my tape. So that was a little bit weird. I was like, why the fuck did you tell me about it? Because I practiced my balls off to record this song, and you already took the band pictures for the new album. So, but in the end, I'm really happy because a friend of mine is doing the job now, and yeah, he was better at doing that job and still is. So, and I sent that audition tape to Mart, and he was like, "Holy shit balls! I didn't knew you could play this shit still." And so then we started jamming out, and first we tried out some bass players, and yeah, we found a really good one. He's coming with us every now and then as a substitute bass player, but he was like, yeah, it reminds me too much of Dr. Doom, the previous band of Mars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he was like, I don't feel like it. And then all of a sudden, Jabe came along, and Jabe played in a bluegrass band at that moment. And yeah, I thought he was really not into making loud, aggressive, noisy music. So yeah, he said, I want to do it. I was like, hell yes. So and when he came, yeah, when he first rehearsed with us, and we found a singer, we auditioned some singers as well. And when we were, yeah, the first time, I think Jonathan came, actually did one rehearsal session, and then he recorded Hellbound. So, but when we found him and we were standing in the rehearsal space for the first time together, I was like, yeah, this feels different than every other band I've been in. And it felt right. It felt complete. It felt strong. It sounds a little bit cheesy and weird, but even the first show we did felt really good. It was with Lockup.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been playing in bands with Jabe for, I think, 20 years already. I've been playing in bands with Mart for 15, 16 years. So of course that connection is good. And yeah, so it started. So in 2013 we released Hellbound, and then yeah, met you guys on the way to Obscene Extreme.
Dude, but what you're saying about the first time you guys played together, where you felt that strong connection or something different than you had felt with previous bands, the proof is in the pudding. It's, you guys are still together. You know, it's still 4 original members. You haven't had a single lineup change, which is actually rare nowadays. So
yeah, but we're not that long. We're not playing that long actually, because we started in 2012, 13.
That's almost, that's gonna be, wait, okay, 2012, 2013. Okay, fair enough. I mean, okay, the thing is, I have in my mind, Teething started in 2011, and I look at my watch and I'm like, shit, it's gonna be 10 years pretty soon. So
what are you going to do with your 10-year anniversary?
With our 10-year anniversary,
something special, dude.
We've had a bunch of plans, which I don't know if they're gonna happen. We thought about re-releasing the first EP in like a deluxe edition with unreleased tracks and a new packaging as a 10-year anniversary, or releasing maybe a documentary or something. But I don't know if it's gonna happen because of all of this COVID stuff. So right now we're just focusing on our recording, which we're gonna record in like 25 days. So that we're focused on that. Once we get that out of the way, we'll think if we're gonna do it.
And what are you recording? An album? EP?
We're gonna what are we recording?
Our song.
So here's the thing. We're gonna be we're recording our second full-length album and a couple of splits, which I don't know if you're aware, we're gonna be doing a split with Teethgrinder.
Spoiler. Yeah.
What I wanted to get at about the roots Well, yeah, spoiler. So I don't mind spoiling it. Do you mind spoiling it? No.
No, man.
Yeah. It's too
I
late
love
anyway.
to do a split EP with you guys. I've been nagging your ass for.
It's been of course, I think it's been in the works. We just had to get our timelines in sync and make it happen, and we're finally making it happen. And the thing about the Teethgrinder, so here about the split is that we're each covering a song.
Playing a song. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I went through the whole Teethgrinder discography. Okay, and
Sorry,
Bingo,
wait.
wait.
What?
Sorry, Bingo's playing with the toys. I have to get that out. So I went through the whole Teethgrinder discography to see which song would fit well with us.
Bleeding ears.
Bleeding ears. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what song it is.
No.
But what I want to say is like, I was very impressed with Jonathan's lyrics. Like, he's a very dark, broken, fucked up human being, you know. So like, props to that. I wanted to tell you guys that. So anyways, back to your question. What are we recording? We're recording the
New
album,
full length.
the full length, and a couple of splits. One is gonna be with you guys.
And with whom are the other ones?
The other's gonna be with a grind. I don't know if you know them, Nashgul.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah. Also good friends, and we have a couple of extra tracks just in case anything else pops up in the future, because this stuff always, like,
Yeah,
you know, it's smart always to have a couple of extra tracks lying around. So
we still have a track lying around, and I think we recorded 16 or 17 songs this time. That's a lot for us. I think it's more than 1.5 hours of music.
But that's super smart, right? Because it's going to be for the third full length. And what about the other material?
As well, a split EP with you guys. And then we have still some songs left, I guess.
Okay.
Because, we really don't want to put more than 13 songs in an album. So
that's smart.
Well, we're going to see.
Okay. And any like hints or spoilers you want to give about your split with Teething?
Which song we're gonna do?
Yeah.
You mean? No.
Yeah, no, I don't want you to reveal. Okay.
I'm not gonna reveal it, but big props to all of you, because I love that song and I really, really enjoyed playing that song. Nice. And I can already promise you that if we're gonna play it together again, we're gonna play it before you guys, and we're gonna play that song.
Oh my god!
So you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. We're fucked. So we'll make sure we never play again with you guys.
No, not in that kind of way. But
I know. But my question is, did everyone record their parts?
Yes, there are still some guitar parts left, and some vocals have to be redone, or some extra lines. Okay. So that's what we're waiting for. But we're gonna talk about COVID again. But everything is fucked up, of course, because our label it's hard for a label to fund the release, and I don't even know if it's a clever thing to do to release now, because we can't play shows. And we have a tour booked in February
with Inhumate, right?
Yeah, with Inhumate, and that was on my bucket list, man. It was the first nightliner tour.
No way, that was gonna be a nightliner tour?
Yeah, for a fucking grindcore band.
Wow. And I remember last time we talked, you told me like one of your bucket list goals was a nightliner tour.
Yeah, so and that was is hopefully going to happen in February. But it's so we're quite insecure about if it's all going to happen, because there aren't any shows. All the shows we had booked until January are
Right. So
cancelled. So
let's go back, because this always interests me a lot, the record label stuff. You guys are going to be working again with Lifeforce, right? Okay, so
yeah,
and you guys have from what I see, a pretty good relationship. It's going to be your third release with Lifeforce.
yeah, it's going to be our third release, and only good things about Stefan. Stefan is the director of Lifeforce. It's such a nice guy. He's really sweet. He's really his deals are really good. The deals are really good, and he always comes to point when we have an agreement. He's very strict. It's very punctual. Everything is perfect. I love the guy.
Overall professional.
And, really professional. And in the beginning, I thought, I don't know if this is a good label for us. But I pinched Mark, like, let's send it out to Lifeforce as well, because in the early days they only had metalcore bands like Caliban, Heaven Shall Burn, etc., etc. And but from day one we were on that label. Everything has been perfect, actually perfect.
Is that how your relationship with Lifeforce began? Sending your material to the label? You didn't have a personal relationship before?
No, not really. I met the guy. I met Stefan 10 years prior, maybe, when I was on tour with Burning Skies, a British metalcore band, and they were on Lifeforce at the time. And I spoke to him at that time, and he seemed like a very nice guy. But that's Mark had a few contacts with this band prior, Teethgrinder, with some labels, sorry. Mm-hmm. And so we sent it out to a few labels, and the EP is released on a few. It's a combination of labels, and the full length is released by the Centiphy is released by Lifeforce. And just because of sending it out, and Stefan really is into Nasum and grindcore, so he was really fond of it. Yeah, so that's how it started.
So something I'm very sorry. Before we get into this, that was interesting what you were saying, because we're dealing with the same thing, which is we don't know if it's intelligent to release an album during these times. I think there's pros and cons. What's your what do you think about this?
I'm very curious about your pros, because I can make up one, because the only, especially for underground music like us, the only thing you need to do is play shows. Mm-hmm. Play a lot of shows and get your music out there. And of course you can do some promotion on via internet, via some magazines or whatever, but it all comes down to doing tours, doing good shows. And sure. There aren't any shows, no festivals or whatever. So if you release an album, the only thing you need to do is play shows after releasing it.
That's very true, because I'm sure this happens to you guys as well, where we sell most copies of our records are on tour, playing shows.
Yeah.
Now, sure, there's mail order, but it's nowhere near as close. I feel like if we release an album now, we're just gonna have like stock. Like maybe the first couple of weeks we'll sell. There'll be some good pre-orders, but there's no real way of supporting unless you make like a lot of music videos and have a great following on social media.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we do have a great following, but we're not that active on social media. And we have a lot of true fans who are being who are treating us very nice. And we recently posted some merch online again, and everybody is ordering merch, so they're doing a hell of a job, and that's what we need as well right now for funding our new album, the artwork, and paying our rehearsal room.
Right.
So I noticed, especially the last few months, that our budget was going down the drain. We really needed to sell merch, but and we're doing quite a good job online as well. But still, playing shows, it's always way better.
Yeah. So, for example, I'm thinking of big bands that have released albums now. Napalm Death just released an album. Deftones just released an album. I'm sure any bands come to mind.
Not really.
Because my thought is if big bands like that do it, maybe it is a good idea. I don't know. So I still have this internal debate.
But yeah, I think they do it because they have a plan, and they have a marketing plan, and they have a planning via their label or whatever, and they have to release it. And those bands are that big, so their following is that big, so they will sell quite some albums. But Napalm Death, they need to tour as well, I guess. So I think it's better to wait a little.
Or maybe it's even smart. This is something we were brainstorming a bit. I'm not even doing a proposal or anything, but maybe it is smart releasing first, like our split, which is just a couple of songs. It's not as important as an album, even though it has important place for us. But it's like, we're still active. Just letting everyone know, here's a couple of songs.
Keep the momentum going. Yeah. That's what that came in mind a few times as well, because it's already 2 years ago, I guess 3 years ago, that we released Nihilism. So for us, it's really necessary to release some new material.
Keep the ball.
On the other hand, if you're gonna listen to our new album, holy shit balls!
Tell me about the new album.
Yeah, I was quite nervous to go into studio if I would nail it, and we even wrote 2 songs in the studio. Wow. And that's really, that's not something grindcore bands do, I guess, not that often. But we never done that before. So, but
let me interrupt you. How does that come about? Is that because you guys had a couple of extra days? You had a budget?
It was more like I had in mind, like, I want to have that many songs. I want to have these types of songs, and we rehearsed some of the riffs for that song, 2 of the songs, and we've been trying to make a song out of it, and it didn't feel good. And I had in mind in the studio, like, okay, we're gonna record it like we did it the last few times in the rehearsal space. But then it was like, no, it doesn't feel good. So we rewrote it while recording drums, and actually 2 of those songs, I should say 3 of those songs, sound the best in my opinion. Very creative, very very typical, and with a lot of creativity in it. So they sound really aggressive, really top notch, and really in your face. So
super excited to hear this material. Talking about the new album, do you, when it comes to track order, sequencing of the songs, are you all involved in that process, or is it more maybe you or Mart? How does that come about?
It's we do it together actually, and like for this album, gave a setup like this is how I think the following order should be, um, and Mart came back with another setup, and yeah, we still have to find out, especially because yeah, we don't know exactly how long every song is taking, and we have to record some intermezzos, some intros, of course, some samples. So yeah, we have to find out if it's still as balanced as we want. And but yeah, normally we're doing it together.
That's awesome. For me, this is such an important process of an album. And
Yeah.
it's kind of nerve-wracking. I need to, before we record an album, like I need to set the sequencing straight. Like for me, it feels, at least for me, a bit unorganized to choose later. Like I need to have it in mind. So it was just interesting. I wanted to see how it felt for you guys. So,
but I think especially when it comes to making balanced album with songs of every genre, the combination that we like, and yeah, that's of course Mark comes with guitar riffs and he makes the guitar riffs, and then in the rehearsal space we'll make songs out of it. But yeah, I think at the last album I was really telling him like, oh, we really need a song like this, or a typical Converge song, or a High on Fire song, or whatever, or a song that reminds us of an album beforehand.
okay.
So we have something of every genre that we like.
Awesome. So talking about Teethgrinder in general, I think you guys are a very, I'd say, yeah, you guys are an inspiration because you seem like there's a big driving force behind the band. Like I think everything's very much on point. The brand, the merchandise, the pattern. You're very good at releasing albums every 2 or 3 years with the same artist. Especially like the booking aspect. I see you guys play like really cool shows with really cool bands. And so I wanted to know what everyone's
How do you do that?
how do you do that? Of course, a big factor is you guys are fucking killer. You guys are a great fucking band.
Suck up.
Exact. But I don't want.
Wait,
But you guys,
wait,
like,
wait.
I'm wink, wink, wink. What I want to know is what everyone's role in the band is.
To be honest, at the moment we're changing up a little bit, but yeah, there are so many aspects, of course, in the band. If it comes to writing songs, that's Mart and me. Mart is writing the riffs, and in the rehearsal space, we're writing the songs. If it comes to logistics, routing for tours, whatever, and the money, then that's my role. Jabe, our bass player, is doing the merch, especially making the t-shirts and the hoodies, and then we have our
You mean the
artwork,
graphic design aspect, right?
the graphic design, but especially if it comes to our albums, the covers are made by Marald van Haasteren, who's doing artwork for Baroness, Eye on Fire.
I saw he did the
whatever.
latest Necrot, which was sick.
Okay. So, and that's always in combination with, we have an idea for the album title, and we discuss about what we want to see. And yeah, Mart is having contact with Maralt, and then eventually Maralt is drawing the artwork. If it comes to selling merch on shows, it's Jonathan,
Okay.
and he's writing lyrics, of course, together with Mart. Think, yeah, when we're in the studio, And it comes to vocal lines, it's Jabe and Jonathan, and sometimes Martin and I pinch in. Um,
That's a
for
very
book
that's a very
for,
interesting dynamic. Yeah, go ahead. Booking?
and for booking shows, yeah, Mart was the contact, but yeah, sometimes I arrange shows, but until now, there haven't been many shows that we have had to book ourselves. We've always been asked for a show, and if they saw us live somewhere, they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to book you somewhere else," and that's yeah. I'm really proud of that, and I'm really happy with that, of course. So and that's something I wanted to ask you, but yeah, I always have a bucket list. I always have some goals. What are your goals? Where do you want to go? What's on your bucket list?
Okay. Before we get into my bucket list, I just wanted to interject on what you were saying, which was you guys do something that I like very much, which is since you guys can't commit to touring that much, you guys do something really smart, which is a lot of fly-in dates, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something Teething just started doing a couple of years ago. And I think it's the way to go for bands like us, which we can't commit to touring for weeks and weeks and months and months.
And of course that I really love to do that. I really love it, to play those shows and those weekenders in Portugal or in wherever. I really love it. Of course, the arranging part is really shitty, but on the other hand, of course, yeah, the environment, like flying, it still feels a little bit weird if it comes to being a lefty grindcore band who is thinking about society, nowadays society, the environment, being don't eat meat or whatever. All those things, yeah, it's a little bit contradictive if it comes to those fly-in shows.
Okay.
Even though
you think so? I mean,
yeah,
it makes sense.
It's a big way of pollution.
I never thought about it that way.
No.
No.
Sorry, I do.
I do,
and
okay.
And of course, it's more that I think about it in a way like I don't want to be too hypocrite about. I don't want to be the one who is pointing out his finger like you're the bad guy, you're doing it wrong.
Of course.
Because in a way, everybody is doing something wrong.
Yeah, no one can be perfect, and for me, like this kind of situation, for example. Imagine you're playing a show and someone in one of the opening bands has been called out for being a racist or whatever. I think the smarter option is to play that show, say something on stage, and stand up for what you feel is right, instead of, oh, we're not going to play that show. So I think this is similar to the fly-in dates. Like the word isn't lesser of two evils, but if the outcome is greater than pollution, blah, 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 then
yeah,
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, of course. Until now, I think it's worth it because I really enjoy it. And like I said beforehand, I really need this. I really need to have an outlet for my frustration, my anger. And I really love being on the road. Playing shows is the thing I love most. I hate recording. I hate writing music. Oh, yeah, I like writing music, but not in a grindcore band, not on drums.
Okay.
So, it's just hard. It's hard work.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's very Groundhog Day sometimes, writing an album like over and over and over and. But the outcome is so rewarding, like, oh, these songs kick fucking ass, that it's worth it.
Yeah, Of course. That's the I can't wait when we release the new album because all killer, no filler.
Fuck yeah, dude. So you were asking me what's on my personal bucket list. So
Yeah. If it
one of
comes to
the
teething, of course.
okay, yeah, of course. When it comes to teething, I would be there would be a void in my little black heart if by the time the band is over, we hadn't toured every continent at some point, you know? And that's something that's important for me. I would like to cross that off the bucket list. Something that was big on the bucket list was releasing an action figure, which we were able to do.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say like so maybe we're already working on a second action figure. We've been working on it for a long time. So not that that's a bucket list, but doing like merch like that for me is like very fulfilling, you know? Or releasing a 3-inch record, just stupid shit like that. Stupid entre comillas, air quotes. And
but we talked about, I can remember actually when we discussed about doing a split album and with all the creative things we could make up for releasing that split EP, and you already told me like making an action figure or just making the artwork or making the whole package is it's something you love to do. So
for me that's very, very fulfilling. Just and a big bucket list is the day. I always joke around with the guys, but the day teething ends, I'm looking forward to that day because I will be able to I can start working on a big box set, which is a compilation of all of our material on like maybe triple vinyl with like a book. So that's on my bucket list for the band to end. You know?
Yeah.
What about you? What's on your bucket list?
Always bigger, better, faster, harder, rougher. But my bucket list it comes actually down to the same points as you're mentioning. Mm-hmm. I want to do every continent if possible. It's in my opinion getting harder and harder, especially to get to the US because work visas or whatever, or getting into the country, it's terrible.
I'm talking about touring the US. You can always do this. Well, maybe we shouldn't say this, but you can do this without visa. I mean, it's very risky, but I'm sure you've met a lot of bands that have done it that way. But
I've met a few, and but I'm not that. I'm not always about obeying the rules, but to be honest, I read too much stories lately about bands being kicked out of the US and never being tolerated in there again. Yeah, that feels
a bit too risky, right?
Yeah, a little bit too.
Yeah, like.
But so that's on my bucket list. And of course, my nightliner tour was one of them. I want and it would be really nice to be on tour with Napalm Death, and I think it's a possibility. And I think if you start imagining it and start to work for it, I think that would be something that could be happening. So
for sure. Well, Teethgrinder has done a lot of very, very, very cool stuff. For example, touring Japan a couple of years ago. Can you tell me about that experience? How that came about?
How did actually? I think it started with Damien from Inhumate again. Damien and I were talking about it, and we were like, yeah, fuck, man, we should do that. That we would love to do that. So we found a promoter, and then of course the whole process starts of finding the right moment, finding the tickets, We had a lot of shit with the tickets, the plane tickets, because I paid for tickets and we didn't get the tickets, and it was terrible.
So you paid for tickets and you didn't get the tickets?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So I was trying to get a refund, and it took for weeks. So I was like, oh shit, there went our money. And and then when we finally took off, I was like, holy shit, we're going to Japan. The best ever. It's undescribable.
Yeah, that moment, I can totally relate to that whole like months and months, maybe even a year of planning. And that moment you sit on the plane and you're just like, oh, okay, fine, good. And even when it's like, because you have to take time off work, you just need to make sure everything's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
The moment you sit in the chair, it's like, oh, that stress is, oh, yeah.
Especially the nerve-wracking thing was like, I was, there are certain moments when you have to buy your tickets because then they're more cheap as or whatever. And, but like I said, I paid for tickets and I couldn't get a refund. And the date of getting those tickets was getting near. So I was really waiting for that money. Like, fuck, I need that money so I can buy plane tickets, or else we don't even have tickets. So the deadline was coming.
Was the tour announced at this moment?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay, I can.
I was like, oh shit, but yeah, it worked out, and Gerard and that's the guy who booked the tour. It's an American guy who was living in Japan, and he did a terrific job, and I arranged that we could stay a little bit longer than only 4 days. The guys of Inhumate were only for 4 days in Japan, and we were there 11, 12 days, and we had a chauffeur. Bruno was an awesome guy, a Brazilian Japanese guy, and he drove us around Japan, and we saw all the cool things you can imagine. Yab and I did Mario Kart in Tokyo for 2.5 hours, driving around the street. And it was, the food was awesome. The people were really nice. Everything was so clean, and you felt really safe. At one of the first days, we had a fuck up with luggage. So the guitar of Mark was standing outside with his bag and his passport and everything in it. And they went to the coffee shop, and they came back 2.5 hours later, I guess, and was still standing in the middle of the street.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So
props to
that's
Japanese culture.
That's a good example of. Sorry,
props to Japanese culture. I mean, that wouldn't have lasted in many other countries, you know.
No, and I can remember that at a certain point, Bruno brought us to a hotel, and we were standing in the lobby, both bands of them, and Bruno was standing next to us, and I was like, "What the fuck? The car is still running. It's still open. What the fuck are you doing here?" Yeah, it's okay here. It's perfect. No problem. So and all the special beers.
Special beers?
Yeah, they have a lot of beers with fruit-flavored beers, but they're really strong. So it was awesome. After every show, a few of those beers, and you were like, it was awesome. And one other cool thing was the vending machines. They were on every fucking street corner, and in those vending machines you had warm coffee, beers, whatever. It was so weird. Yeah, warm coffee. It was really cool. In a can, warm coffee in a can.
Is the legend true that they have those kinky vending machines with like?
Yeah, they do. But to be honest, I didn't see many of them. But they have some. Yeah.
Okay.
But all those vending machines, man, and all the Yeah, especially when Jaap and I went Mario Karting, we were walking and he had Pikachu and I was Bowser. So at a certain point we had a break and we were walking around and everybody wanted to take pictures of us. So we were standing with families on the picture like, hey, a lot of them.
Wow.
So awesome.
So that's fucking awesome. So you felt like real rock stars when you were wearing the Pokemon.
Yeah, especially when driving those cars, I felt
Yeah.
the biggest rock star ever because on every corner people were taking pictures and felt so weird. Like those Mario Karts are driving by the whole day, but still all the Japanese people like click, 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 pictures. People walking on the sidewalk and just almost getting run over by a car because they were taking pictures of us. So really ridiculous.
Dude, but so overall, Japan, I feel, was a very important milestone for Teethgrinder. Anything else come to mind? It doesn't necessarily have to be a tour. It can be like...
Yeah, of course. Obscene Extreme. First time Obscene Extreme. We played, I think, before you guys.
I think it was after. But it was cool because it was the same day.
Yeah, it was the same day. But we played quite early. But as you can see on the video clips that have been shot there, still, it felt like, okay, as a beginning band, it felt really good. And the crowd reacted really good. We sold tons of merch over there, really a lot, shitloads of merch. And after that, I really felt that there was a little bit of gossiping or talking around about our name. And I think that's the biggest milestone. Obscene Extreme the first time.
For many bands I've talked about with a lot of grindcore bands, playing Obscene Extreme is a before and after. Like there's a obvious change.
It's a grindcore Valhalla.
Yeah.
It's the grindcore Valhalla. So
and as you said, because we were on tour together. Yeah. And the amount of merch we sold was insane.
Ridiculous.
We were able to like pay for the tour through it was insane. It was awesome. I heard the merch. Sorry, I heard the merch numbers at Grind the Nazi Scumfest are insane as well.
Yeah, that's so cool. It was. I don't know if it's a clever thing to talk about, but probably the guy is not listening to it. But I can remember we played there. I don't know even in which year it was, but Stefan from Lifeforce came by, and we and the Centrifuge was not released yet, I guess, or maybe it was. Maybe Nihilism was going to be released, but Stefan was coming by, and he was like, okay, what's this kind of venue? And okay, but yeah, we did an awesome show, and the crowd went nuts, and I think we sold over 700-800 euros of merch, and he was at the merch booth, so he was like, hell yeah, this is good, especially for a small show like this. And I can recall there was another guy who didn't want to release our EP, I guess, and now he was like, hey, maybe I can release your new album.
Fuck off.
Hell no. Especially because our new label boss was there, so it was quite funny. But
nice.
yeah.
What other milestones? Sorry, going back to the Obscene Extreme, that was also a milestone. Not as much, of course, playing the festival, I share all of these memories that you share. But I remember the morning I woke up and I had an email from Chirby from Obscene Extreme. I was like shaking. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So that moment, I have very much ingrained in my brain and my heart. So what other milestones has Teethgrinder?
I think we had the same thing for Obscene Extreme, but it was more like, when is it going to happen? Because we were like, that's the goal, and we're gonna aim for that, and we're gonna play there anyway. But yeah, when we finally were able to go there, but like, yeah, come on, Obscene Extreme was awesome, but the way up there was so awesome. We had such a good time. It was, yeah. So that comes with the memory as well for me. Another milestone.
It doesn't necessarily have to be something huge. You know, it can be like
Yeah, for myself as a young kid when I started playing drums, being endorsed was one of the biggest dreams ever. Was like, um, and why it was so special to me is especially because, um, yeah, I've been playing in hardcore metal bands all my life since I was 10, 11 years old, and especially in high school or later when I went to conservatorium, it was always like, oh yeah, metal, yeah, it's um, I didn't respect it that much. Like, yeah, it's just loud noise
definitive
music, and
black sheep for sure.
yeah, and so I always felt like, yeah, this is going to be very hard to accomplish to get an endorsement, especially when you're in a grindcore band that's a subgenre from a subgenre. Um,
The
and
lowest of the low.
yeah, I like that album. Good pumping iron album. But so I didn't expect they were eager to do that. But yeah, I got first. We had some contest in Holland about the best rock drummer from the Benelux, and I got a second. I guess I don't know. It doesn't. But I had some promo material, and our album was selling really good, and we did a lot of shows. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try it, and yeah, Ludwig, my dream drum kit, came true. So I'm being endorsed now by them, and yeah, those guys are really really sweet, and yeah, that's a really big milestone for me, especially because I never thought it would happen with
Fuck
this
yeah,
kind of
dude.
music, and yeah, I was really proud of that.
Congratulations for that. How does that endorsement work exactly? Do you get like a big discount or?
Yeah, I get a real big discount, and yeah, it's a little bit vice versa. I do some promotion for them, and they give me a big discount. If I go to the studio, I can lend every stuff I want. When I'm on tour, I'm able to ask them, "Oh, can you put a drum kit over there and there?" And we have a drum kit for tour. Uh, yeah, like I said, I have a big discount, and yeah, I have a Vista Lite. I never thought I would be able to even pay for that,
Fuck
but
yeah,
now I
man.
have one.
Nice.
Do you know what a Vista Lite is?
I do not.
John Bonham from Led Zeppelin always had one, an orange one. I have a white one. It's a plexiglass drum kit.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I've seen these
Typical
pictures.
grindcore.
Typical
grindcore.
Fuck yeah,
But
dude.
fuck it.
Exactly.
It's loud as hell, and it's sounding awesome.
And it looks awesome.
So yeah, it looks awesome. I think so. A lot of metalheads don't like it because it's too.
Whatever.
But yeah,
Dude, and before we finish talking about Teethgrinder, anything you want to talk about, like Teethgrinder future plans? I know you said you guys have all of this material almost fully recorded, and this upcoming Inhumate tour, crossing fingers, it still happens.
Yeah.
Anything else in the works?
Yeah, to be honest, it's something I not even discussed with Marge yet, but I really would love to pay some more attention to video clips, even though it's passe. It's not something that's really that special anymore. But I really would love to work with the guy who's producing the Behemoth video clips. That's something that came and popped up in my head. That's something I really want to do. Just have a few cool video clips.
I think
Yeah,
I think
and of
this is
course,
very smart. I think um yeah, I think especially now during COVID times, giving importance to video content, you know?
yeah. But yeah, I have, I think I'm a little bit the same as you as it comes to merge and make something special. I really want to make a really cool package with, I don't know what in it, but something that's and I think it has to do with the Bingus and Purge box set from Metallica that I always wanted to have when I was a really young kid. The 1994 Bingus and Purge
That's the VHS.
VHS, the 3 CDs, a booklet, just some stuff. So something in a box set kind of way, and it's not, that's something really not done in grindcore, I guess, or
The
maybe
cool,
it's too
sorry,
expensive or whatever.
the cool thing, because teething, we've done this a couple of times. If you want to, you can DIY it. You know, it doesn't. You don't have to think. Say, for example, what we did was when we released our latest album, we just put the vinyl, the CD, the tape, the action figure inside a pizza box, and I painted them personally, you know? So, and you just do a
Yeah,
limited amount. So
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah. That's
necessarily have to
just
be, yeah.
no. That's true. That's true. So that's something that I really would love to do, especially because um, yeah, and that's sounding a little bit old and old-fashioned. But yeah, I really loved it when I was a young kid, just to open a booklet and see pictures and read the lyrics. And even though I'm not a guy that's really into lyrics, but I would love to watch pictures and know something about the band. And even though when we release something with Teethgrinder, especially for the vinyl, I would really have to have a big booklet and a big book actually, so people
That's,
have to see something. And that's
for me, this is
so
such an important part of the process. An album isn't just the music, it's also the, as you said, it's like a book, it's a layout. You open it, you want to read all the details. Even though you're maybe not so much into that now, maybe a 16-year-old kid that buys the latest Teethgrinder album will be, and they'll feel a
yeah,
bigger link with you guys, you know?
yeah.
Seeing all the
and and
pictures.
and and yeah, I think there are a lot of people who are buying all our stuff, so I'm really thankful for that. But yeah, this would be something we could give them, like something more than just an EP or an LP or whatever. Just some cool stuff, and I don't know if they appreciate it, but I would love to have it.
I'll be the first one to buy it. I'm pretty sure I have all of Teethgrinder's, at least the vinyl. No, I have the vinyl and the CDs. I have everything. So I'm not that much of a shirt collector, but the physical musical releases for sure.
Yeah, that's a nice thing because I think all the vinyl is sold out for a long time already. So
Dude,
that's I think yeah, and what are big things for? I think Brutal Assault was cool, but in the end, we played in Romania
nice.
and Czech Republic in one weekend, so that was
Wow.
and in Utrecht. So in the end, I would have loved to be a whole weekend over there, but that doesn't. We were waiting for it for Brutal Assault for a long time, and we hoped for it for a long time. And actually, the moment when we heard it was even better because we were on a tour in the UK, and I can remember I saw the big band up front of me, and then we got the message like, "Oh, you're playing Brutal Assault." Fuck yeah! So we
Okay.
did a tower bridge with Joop or some guy.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
So that was I think the milestone itself was like getting the news while being in England
Yeah,
and enjoying our tour there.
exactly. And being able to maybe celebrate it, whether it's with a beer or a meal, just all together, right? Instead of emails,
Yeah.
everyone from their house.
Exactly. Yeah.
For sure.
So that's
Dude, I think anything else you want to add about Teethgrinder? Because I think we're covered. I want to ask you the last, which is one of my more fun questions. Okay, so
give it a shot.
are you? I don't recall. Are you a big horror guy? Do you like horror films?
I was, but to be honest, I don't have much time because, studying, doing a band, working. So I haven't been seeing that much movies lately. But I was, especially when I was 10 years younger, I watched a lot of horror movies.
Okay,
So the
anything
classics.
exactly? Anything? Because you know I'm a big horror nerd. Is there any movie, whether it's something you saw? It doesn't have to be recently, but a horror movie you want to point out, recommend to me or to people?
Yeah, it's very cliche, but what comes into mind is Brain Dead.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Brain Dead. It's especially because I can remember when I saw it the first time. I was really young and I was eating a pizza and I was like grossed out. I was like, "Ugh, fuck, what's this?" And especially when I got older, I really saw how hilarious it was, and that's the first one that comes into mind.
That
But
movie's really aged well. It's the perfect blend of horror and comedy.
yeah, for me,
I'd say a big part of my humor and personality comes from movies like that, where they blend those two things so well. And what I really like about that movie, that it's Peter Jackson's roots, you know.
I know.
He later become
The
Hollywood's
fairy tale
mainstream.
wizard.
Exactly. Anything else come to mind?
The doctor said no. Yeah, I'm super bad at recalling names or when it comes to when I'm on the spot and I have to name a few. Yeah.
If not, don't worry, because Brain Dead is
it's not Dawn of the Dead, of course, but Shaun of the Dead I like as well.
that's a great fucking movie, and it's
Yeah.
such a good tribute to the great zombie movies. So I'd consider as much a comedy movie as a horror movie. So it's a love letter to all of George Romero's films. So fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's
that's good. That's good. We're good.
Yeah.
So my
How good
friend,
are you?
I'm great.
What?
I'm great, but I think if unless there's anything else you'd like to add, I think we're good, and it's been beautiful chatting to you. I'm glad we were able to do this, you know.
Yeah, it's
Fuck
way
Jonathan.
better than with Jonathan. Fuck you.
Who's usually the PR guy in the band?
Depends on what stuff. But most of the time, Mart is doing the interviews, and when we have some interviews on camera, most of the time I put Mart and and Jonathan up front. Actually, I don't know if Yaba likes this or Mart, but you should check out if you can find the video interview of Yaba after a show in Portugal.
Okay.
Obrigado.
What, his accent?
Yeah, but it was so funny. But yeah, it wasn't that good for the band, but it was hilarious. But normally it's Mart or Jonathan, and yeah, I'm more the driving power in the back, and yeah, just like being a drummer.
Well, I'm glad you got to share your time with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
When are we going to meet again?
God knows, dude. I don't.
Yeah.
I hope soon. I hope soon. Okay, this is a step in the right direction. You know, to seeing each
True, true.
other soon. I hope you can sleep over again, like you did last time, which was.
And
Have you
then
guys stayed at my? Sorry, what?
buy fucking Nasum.
Oh yeah, exactly. Did you enjoy that video?
Yeah, it was really funny. It's of course I wasn't in it that often, but hey, yeah,
Yeah, the drummer,
it's
dude.
always this. Yeah,
Back
I'm
in
the
the bus.
drummer. Yeah, back in the bus.
Dude.
But yeah, it's like I think when we're going to release the EP, we should, or the EP, the split EP, we should organize something special, something ridiculous.
For sure.
Maybe something like the tour says we're fucked map or whatever.
Please.
Map says we're fucked tour.
Please, I think, and people have been asking me for quite some time, split with Teethgrinder. So I think it deserves some sort of tour, you know, for sure. So let's make it happen.
Man, it's I think it's perfect match, and that's something I really wanted to say. I'm even more honored to play a song of you guys. So when we share stages, you finally can join us on stage.
For sure.
So
dude.
that's yeah.
But I kind of want to hear Jonathan do it. I'd rather join you guys for a song that's not a teething song. We'll see when the time comes, but we will make it happen.
Yeah, you can swap around now, and that's something. Fuck you, Jonathan. But you probably he didn't even ask you to do a song for a new album.
Oh no.
We talked about it.
Oh well, of course I wait for the invitation. I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, what's up?
No, I can imagine. But I'm gonna, because I really want to have you on the album. So
it would be an honor and a pleasure, and that will be one of my milestones. We're back, boys and ghouls. That was Force-Fed Ideologies off Teethgrinder's latest album, Nihilism. I chose that song because it has the grind, punk, napalm death feels that I enjoy. So, and it's also the shortest song on the record, and that's the way to go. Fuck yeah, Jan. Thanks so much for coming on. What a great dude. He's not usually the PR guy in the band, but it was great having him on. I'll eventually get other members of the band at some point. Stay tuned for their upcoming LP, and stay tuned for our upcoming split together. That should be fun.
I really don't like doing these intros and outros, but I think you kind of have to do them. So cheers. I'll see you soon. I don't know who my next guest is. I have a couple of people lined up, but I don't know which one it's gonna be. So stay tuned. Do.